YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to this video. If you are new to the channel, do me a huge favor. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, do all that for your boy. And thank you for tuning in. You could have clicked on any video, but you clicked on this one, so thank you for doing that. If you are a returning viewer, I want to thank you guys for rocking with me and support me on this YouTube journey. Man, we couldn't do this without you guys, and we're steady climbing, steady growing. You guys keep supporting me and things like that, so appreciate all of you guys for doing that. But I ain't gonna hold you too long. Let's go ahead and get into the topic of today's video. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. So this video, you see the title, you think it's gonna be like, oh, he's gonna do another video. He just got this car. He wanna talk about things he loves, things he hates, things like that. But I wanna come at you guys from a different perspective. I know a lot of people tend to do these videos once they get the car and they do the things they like about it, things they hate about the car. But with me having a Mopar before, having a 5.7 Challenger, then moving to a 6.4 liter Charger, Scatpack, I feel like I could give some real true life insight to someone that's maybe looking into buying one of these cars. Like if you are on the fence whether you should get a 5.7 or get the 6.4, if you're on the fence whether you want a Charger or a Challenger, I feel like I can provide some really good insight on with both of these cars. Granted, I have not had this car as long, so I'm only going to be speaking from a perspective of someone just getting the car. But I do feel like with my knowledge of the cars, even before I was getting in it, I kind of feel like I got enough experience to let you guys know, like, kind of some differences there. So we're going to talk about the things. I don't even know how many numbers I got. I'm not going to talk about how many number things I like, but I will talk about the things I like about this car coming from a Dodge Challenger RT. So first thing I want to talk about this car that I do like. This car is spacious. Now I had a Dodge Challenger and I've said plenty of videos that the Dodge Challenger is a pretty spacious car for a two-door coupe. Keep in mind, that was the last 7 years I drove a two-door coupe. So hopping back into a sedan, there's a lot more space to be had here. Now in my Dodge Challenger, I was only able to put, now this may not apply to everybody, but I just want to, tell you some real life stuff here. So I was only able to put one car seat in the car. I had to put it in the middle so that way I had some space to put the car seat there. But in this car, I can comfortably put 2 car seats here and then hop in the front and still be able to drive pretty comfortably. Like right now, I don't have the car seat behind me, but I can adjust my seat. I can drive normally with having another car seat behind me. The space is good. I feel even more comfortable in this car than my Challenger. While the Challenger is roomy for a two-door car, two-door coupe, this Charger, I got to get used to it. This Charger, it definitely has some room there. So you got the power that looks in the room with this Charger. So that's the first thing. The second thing I like about this car in comparison to my Challenger is the wide body. Yes, I know you can get the wide body in the Challenger as well, but for those of you that are watching this video and trying to figure out, like, do you want the wide body, do you not want the wide body, this is my thing with it. So this wide body is way more than just fender flares. People always say it's just fender flares. You can just buy fender flares and stick them on there. Like, part of this package is fender flares, but that's not the whole thing, guys. The wide body, bar is just talking about looks here. You do have a completely new front fascia here. This bumper is totally different. If you look closely here, this like fender flare is actually molded to the bumper. Like, this is one piece. This whole thing is one piece here. The bumper's different. You can see here how it's made. Totally different bumper. Of course, you have the fender flares here. You got different rocker panels that kind of feed into the wide body. I'm gonna open the door here so you can kind of see here. The rocker panels are a little bit different here. Of course, you can see there some of the wide body kit. You can see it on the door. We'll go around to the back. This back bumper is also different as well. See, this back bumper has the bigger vents right there. Now on the Scatpacks, you do have something like this, but they're not as big as this. So it does have some different styling on this car. But like I said, this is more than just looks. You do get the 20/11 wheels. You do get the bigger brakes. You do get performance suspension. Like even like the suspension from this is completely different from the narrow body, so that's another thing as well. The sway bars are different. The shocks are adjustable. You can tune those and stuff like that. So granted, yes, you can copy the look, you can build the look, but as far as the functionality and things of that nature, this wide body does add a lot more. The next thing I like about this exhaust, and this is something that's not going to be a factor anymore, because anything with the Hemi is going to have the active exhaust. But with my Challenger that I had, I got it in 2015, and the active exhausts were not on the RTs at that point. And for this exhaust to be factory, I do think it's pretty good. It does have some volume to it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run. Let me get some space. I want y'all to hear this. Now it's gonna be warm. I already drove the car. So I'm gonna step back. I'm way down here, guys. I'm gonna get back here. I'm gonna let y'all hear the exhaust. This is factory. Now, I'm not sure how loud that was on camera, but in person, I feel like that is pretty dope. That's pretty good for a factory exhaust. Now, you guys know I had a super loud Challenger RT, crazy loud, and for me to be happy with the exhaust from factory, that says a lot, guys. This car sounds pretty good from factory. Granted, you still do the exhaust modifications, things like that, because there's definitely more volume to be had. But as far as this car just stock, it has some volume to it, which I'm pretty happy with. The next thing I like about this car, now I'm a stickler for, I love vents on the car that serve a purpose. I love air ducts on the car that serve a purpose, and on this car that is true. This hood vent on the car is functional. On my Challenger it was not. Now depending on the trim of Challenger you get, it may be functional, it may not be functional, but on my Challenger it was not functional. And also with this wide body here, these vents down here, most of them, I'm getting to them on another video here, but most of these vents are pretty functional. Like you see right here, you have this right, you have your lower grill here, and right here you have a vent that goes to the brake ducts over here. Because if you are, I don't know if you can see it right there, you have a brake duct that goes right to the brake system, so it helps cools it off and stuff like that. I'm a huge fan of having stuff on the car that's functional, especially vents and ducts. So that's the next thing I like about this car. So the next thing I like about this car, and I feel like they addressed a problem with this car from the get-go. So if you see, you notice you have these big 305 tires, you have the wide body flares, but if you stand about from this profile right here, you see, look at all that tire. Like there's a lot of tire right there that sticks out. So if you're driving through water and thing, all of that can just sling up to the back of here. Now, one thing I do like that they did here is they actually have some paint protection on this front fender flare here. But I do feel like if you're gonna have this car, you might want to do paint protection all the way on this here, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff that flings up off that front tire. But what they did help you out with, and I didn't know this, they gave me these mud guards. So I do have mud guards here that I can install on the car to help with that issue. Now, if you, like I said, if you don't like the look of the mud guards on the car, my suggestion is to get some sort of paint protection on it, because of the fact that, like I said, you're going to sling all kinds of stuff off this front wheel to the back just because of how wide the thing is. Now, they could have maybe changed this up and engineered it where that not all that sticking out, but the car's gonna look weird there. It's kind of dirty a little bit thanks to the Brembos. I'm not gonna complain about that, but that's what you got. I like how they address that, so that's the next thing I like. All right, for the next one, let me hop on the inside. I want to show you this. The next thing I like about this car, and I mentioned on my overview here, is that this car actually comes with a standard sound system that is actually sort of a premium sound system. My car did not have that, but this one comes with an Alpine sound system. I did not option this in. This came with it from factory. This has 6 speakers, 275 watt amp built with this car. Typically in most cars that would be considered a premium sound system, but that is a standard one. Of course, you can upgrade to one better than this one. For what you got here, you can upgrade to the Harman Kardon, I should say. That is going to, of course, give you the subwoofer and stuff of that nature. But for a stock sound system, or a standard sound system, I should say, this is pretty decent. I think a lot of people will be happy with it. My Challenger did not have that. Now, the next thing I like about this car, let me step out real quick, make it a little bit easier for myself. The next thing I like about this car, I actually like the seats here. Granted, I know these are the cloth seats, I get that, but even though these are the cloth seats, these are still in the same shape as the Alcantara leather seats. So compared to my Challenger, this part of the seat really holds you in. Like, I really feel like I'm sitting in a bucket seat. I'm held in. I can take turns and the car's gonna hold me in, which is something my Challenger did not have. They had seats that were similar to this, but they did not hold me in as well as this. You're gonna get that as a standard thing. The performance seats is a standard option with this car. So that's another thing I like about this. Another thing, this is gonna be pretty huge. If you drove a Challenger before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you get in this car, let me hop in really quick again. One thing about my Challenger, being a two-door car, I had blind spots everywhere. And I mentioned on one of my videos, when I turned over here, I couldn't see out. I had this whole seat pillar where I couldn't see out of, right in here. But having a four-door car, I really don't have any blind spots. I don't have the blind spot monitoring on this car, but I can see around this car completely well. Granted, I have the car seat here, but still, I can really just see that right there pretty easily. And this back window is pretty big as well. On my Challenger, that back window is super small, and you really can't see much out of it, but this super big back window allows you a lot of visibility, so you don't have to worry about blind spots. And the last thing I like about this car, now granted, you can get this with different packages, but I like this with this car, the Brembos. I like the Brembos, and the reason being is for the maintenance of them. Now the price, I'm not going to, man, if something bad happened to it, that's some different story. But as far as the basic maintenance of like changing out your brake pads and things of that nature, with having Brembos, it cuts that time in half. I'll say almost a half to change out a Brembo. Like if you don't have a lot of experience changing brakes, you can probably do it on the Brembos super easy. You don't have to take the caliper off. You pretty much slide the pads out and slide them back in. On my other car, it took a little longer. I mean, I know there's people that's experienced in doing it. I know I was terrible with doing it. I didn't change my brake pads on my other car because of the fact that I hated trying to get the caliper off. That was always a pain. But on these, you don't have to take the caliper off. You just knock these pins out, take the clip out, and you slide the brake pads out. That's pretty much all you gotta do with this. If you want to do some of the maintenance yourself, you can save some money and some time by doing it yourself because of how easy it is to change out these Brembos. Of course, you can get the Brembos on some of the other cars, some of the other trims, even the RTs, the GTs. If you get that option, you can do that. But coming from a car that didn't have Brembos, and now I have that option, I can make sure I can change them myself and do it pretty quickly. I like that. I really do like that. So that's the last thing. And that's gonna wrap up today's video, guys. If there's something in this video that I did not cover, please make sure to leave a comment below, and I'll make sure I get back to you and whatnot. But that is my overview of going from a RT Challenger to a wide body charger Scatpack. Like all those features I really like about this car. Always thank you for tuning in. We're gonna catch you on the next video. We're out. Cut it.